Last game, our 5-game win streak and regular season came to an end at the hands of the Louisiana Raging Cajuns 34-31 in a devastating last-second loss. They would go on to win the Sun Belt Conference, taking down Georgia Southern 51-24 in the conference championship game. They are the team to beat going forward. But today we have our first bowl game in program history in the Camellia Bowl against the top 25 ranked Central Michigan Chippewas. This game will be the final game for our seniors on this team this year, including left tackle Tariq Williams, middle linebacker Cord Shaw, backup quarterback Joshua Wood, backup defensive lineman Dustin Flint, linebacker Julius Henley, receiver Cole Turner, starting free safety Jordan Coleman, halfback Terrence Middleton, and finally, receiver Tanner Millam. So we're going to see some action for all of these guys in this last game. Most of those guys are starters. And here's your college football playoff preview here in 2026. You got Boise State against Oklahoma. Winner faces Kansas State. Oregon against Ohio State. Winner facing Georgia. NC State against the Cornhuskers. Winner of that faces Clemson. And then finally, Texas and Florida State facing off in the first round. The winner of that game will face Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl. The Chippewas are led by quarterback Zion Turner. This offense has a lot of speed, especially at wide receiver. But to be honest with you, the rest of this offense and their defense, for the most part, lacks any standout players until you get into their secondary, where they have two really good starting caliber or better safeties in Jeremiah Alston Jackson and Ed Conoran. If you guys are enjoying this series, please do leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and leave your feedback down below in the comments section, as we will get things underway here shortly in the Camellia Bowl at Camellia Bowl Stadium in Montgomery, Alabama. Taking on the number 24 Central Michigan Chippewas as they look for their 9th win on the year to close things out. But Houma looks to get win number 8 here in our 3rd season. Our final game for almost all of our seniors on the roster. Here we go to end our 3rd season. Kickoff is officially underway here in Alabama. Return brought out from the 5. It's CJ Nelson on a 12-yard kickoff return, and the offense will come out led by Stephen Breda, a true freshman quarterback who has really been kind of a standout player for us all year long, both with his arm and with his legs. We start at the 17-yard line with the pass. Screen setting up for Javon Moore. He picks up 9 yards. A little pump fake. Breda underneath finds Javon Moore up to the 35-yard line for a first down. You fake it to Boyd. Rolling out. Breda's pass is caught after a big hit by senior receiver Tanner Millam. We hand it off. First run for Karan Boyd. He's got some space up the sideline. A 26-yard run on the first rush of the game for the offense. Good start on the ground. They try it again. And this time he is able to pick up 4. Middleton comes in. Will fake it his way. Breda looking left, and we lose 4 on the pass to Millam. He could not stay in bounds. Pressure coming. Pass caught over the middle and inside the 10. That is CJ Nelson. First and goal, and losing yardage. It's Boyd. Losing 3 that time. Now we fake it. Breda scans and just has to get rid of it with pressure in his face. That brings up 3rd and goal. 12 yards away, looking for the end zone. He is intercepted by their top safety on the roster, their top player on the roster, Jeremiah Alston Jackson. That will give the Chippewas the ball at their 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Double fake. And they'll dump it off for a gain of 1. Zion Turner hands it off. This is Jeff Simonson with the big gain of 16 yards on their first rushing attempt. That brings up a new set of downs. Simonson with 4 more on the ground here. And now he motions out. Turner trying to escape the pocket, but he is under duress and taken down by Jordan Underwood, who's been our top pass rusher all season long. Now rolling out and complete. Simonson has room ahead of him and has a first down into Houma territory up to the 41-yard line. Left side broken up by DeMarvin Holland. That forces a second down. They'll hand it off. Simonson, another little chunk run for 8. He stays in. They fake it his way, and Turner is tackled inches shy of the first down marker. And they're held to a field goal attempt from 49 yards away, and the kick is up and good. And Central Michigan strikes first. 2 and change to go here in the first quarter. Starting through the air, it's caught up the seam. Nice pass lofted there from Breda. It's a first down for LaShawn Gray. Now a delayed run, spinning off a tackle. It's Karan Boyd. Setting up 2nd and 3, and the pass is incomplete for Nelson. 3rd down, underneath, and caught Maverick Bentley up to the Chippewas 40. We go empty. Breda underneath, and now turning upfield, it's Trayon Bell, a 23-yard pickup on that reception. I do foresee Trayon Bell having a much larger role as likely our 3rd receiver behind Nelson and Javon Moore, with Millam graduating once this game is over. 2nd quarter, first play from scrimmage, caught by Javon Moore. He makes a man miss and gets a first down. Now 7 yards away, setting up a screen to Middleton, but he is met at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Trying this one again, and now we are going to have the pass go incomplete. Screens have been few and far between for us these last couple of weeks, as Breda tries to extend the play, but he's in trouble and is sacked for a big 14-yard loss. It's going to be a field goal attempt for George Lincoln. The kick is up and good. He's only missed 4 kicks all year long, and that was his 20th make on the season. Just over 9 to go here in the first half. Chippewas have it and complete a pass across the 30-yard line to move the sticks. And now a run and a first down again. Back-to-back first down plays for Central Michigan here. High snap on the draw. It's Simonson once again picking up 7 yards or more. And now he's got another first down up into Houma territory. First down, they'll fake the run and complete the pass. Needing 4 on 2nd down and caught over the middle and running inside the 5. It's 1st and goal, Chippewas. Just 3 yards away, direct snap, and Simonson is in the end zone for a touchdown, the first of the game. The Chippewas have retaken the lead after trading field goals early on. 1st and 10, under half the quarter left to go. Breda is taken down for a 10-yard loss. The 2nd sack for Central Michigan makes it 2nd and very long. Good protection, though, and we get 9 yards back. That's 3rd and 11. Trying to avoid a 3-and-out. Breda's got time to throw, but Nelson not on the same page, and they will get it back at the 45-yard line, starting on the ground. Nice tackle made by JT Odom, brings up 2nd and 7, and the run is stuffed by Cade Bloom. 3rd down. Turner checks it down, and this is going nowhere. Cade Bloom now shaken up on the play. Hopefully he's going to be all right. But now trading 3-and-outs, the offense gets it back with just over 2 minutes to go. Breda scans, dumps it off, and has a first down to CJ Nelson. We come out of the warning. Pass over the middle, caught in traffic. That is Nelson once again. Breda, another quick throw. It's LaShawn Gray this time turning upfield. And the Bobcats are on the move. Time to throw and now take it off. Breda's got some room to run. A gain of 18 yards on the scramble. First down. Quick throw. Middleton gains nothing. We burn our first timeout. Just 13 yards away. Breda, right side, completes out of bounds to Tanner Millam. Now it's 3rd and 5. Breda over the middle. Caught inside the 1 by Nelson. Knock it on the door. Goal to go. And Karan Boyd finds the end zone for a touchdown. And Houma responds with a touchdown of their own to get us to halftime. We are all tied up here at 10 apiece. That early turnover from Breda proving costly right now, but it's anybody's game. Both passing offenses look pretty good. Their run game has been better on average than ours, but we've had a couple of nice chunk plays, both with our quarterback and our running backs. But a tie ball game, 2 quarters left to go to decide this one. Bobcats looking for their first bowl victory in their first bowl appearance. Chippewas have it to open this 3rd quarter. Rolling out, Turner has a man wide open across their 45. That is Javorian Wembley. Already across 90 receiving yards on the day. And now Simonson has 63 on 10 carries. A very good average for him as Turner keeps it, sprints by Lehan and picks up a big first down. A gain of 18 yards. First down, they'll give it to Simonson. He is met and shoved down by JT Odom. 2nd down and 5. Simonson running left. Sets up 3rd and 2. Play fake. Turner trying to evade pressure, but he's going down. It's sack number 2 for Jordan Underwood. Continuing to be our most consistent pass rusher week in, week out. And we hold them to a field goal attempt, which is good, from 47 yards away. It's 13-10. Offense takes over for their opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Breda backs up and throws it away with pressure coming off the edge. Now he's got some more time to throw and coming back to it, it's Nelson. But defense all over him. 3rd down. Breda's pass knocked away on a diving attempt. A great play by the Chippewas defense will force a punt. And they get it back. Now at their 38-yard line, they'll hand it off, and that run is absolutely stuffed by J.R. Lehan and company. Brings up 3rd and 6. Pass tipped up and picked off by DeMarvin Holland. He tipped it once, receiver tipped it once, and he eventually pulled it down on the 2nd try. And Houma gets the ball back in plus territory, and we go empty on 1st and 10. Breda, back to throw, completes the pass inside the 35-yard line. 2nd and short, and we lose a couple on the ground. 3rd and 4, 4-man rush. Breda complete just enough with Tanner Millam on that reception. Now rolling out. Breda has LaShawn Gray inches shy of the line to gain. We go empty once again. Quick throw over the middle, caught. That is Nelson. Essentially 1st and goal now, 10 yards away. Underneath, Millam shoved into the end zone. Another Houma touchdown, and this time we take the lead for the first time in the Camellia Bowl. 17-13. Chippewas now trail by 4. 5:45 to go here in the 4th. Turner slings it left side, caught. Short gain of 3. Now we'll hand it off, and that run is stuffed. Cade Bloom back in the game, and he is back in a big way. A 2-yard tackle for loss brings up 3rd and 9, and that pass is nowhere near the line to gain. They have to punt the ball away. Now under 4 to go. Breda pump fakes and delivers a strike into Tanner Millam, but sets up 2nd and 6. Now for a screen, That goes nowhere. 3rd and 9. Needing the 45-yard line. Breda is going to take off and scramble, but defenders ready for it. And we go inside the 2-minute warning. Chippewas have it from their 24. 3-man rush. Pass caught across the 45. Chippewas driving. Turner slings it out of bounds with pressure coming on his blind side. 4-man rush this time. Turner intercepted! And guess who? It's the senior linebacker, Cord Shaw. In his final game of his collegiate career, his final game here with the Bobcats, he comes through late with a huge INT. And now 1 first down will wrap this game up. They have all 3 timeouts. Boyd, good patience. He picks up 9 and about a half yard. A play later, it's 3rd and 2. To win the game, Breda caught by LaShawn Gray. They use a timeout, but it's not going to matter. It's victory formation for the Bobcats. Our first bowl appearance and our very first bowl victory here in Montgomery, Alabama. Houma gets win number 8. We finished the year 8 and 5. What a way to close out our 3rd year in this Teambuilder Dynasty. Steven Breda, player of the game. What a defensive effort in that second half. A perfect way to close out the year. In the final game of our 3rd season, the Houma Bobcats take down a top 25 opponent and finish the year with 8 wins. What a performance by this defense. Only 3 points allowed in that second half. They almost always seem to play better in the second half. No idea why. They picked off their quarterback 2 times, one off a tip drill, and a 1 to give us the ball to close the game out. 4.6 for Jeff Simonson, plus that direct snap touchdown. Ron Boyd, 4.1 per carry. Middleton had no carries here in his final game as a Bobcats. Receiving-wise, though, Tanner Millam had that touchdown. Good for him in his final game. 62 for LaShawn Gray and CJ Nelson. But this defense really showed up when things mattered most. 3 tackles for loss for Draymond Gates, 2 for Cade Bloom, 2 for Underwood, plus he had 2 sacks. We had 1 more from JT Odom, and we had the INTs from DeMarvin Holland, and of course, the senior linebacker Cord Shaw, who has been great the entire season. What a way to close things out. 8 wins in year 3. That is how it's done. Final stats on the year for your Bobcats. Steven Breda, 3,200 passing yards, 19 touchdowns through the year, 11 INTs. He started all but 1 game this year. 73% completion percentage for Breda, 267 yards per game, and a pretty solid rating at that. Gallimore, no touchdowns, 3 INTs. He was the starter in 1 game. And Joshua Wood played that same game and threw 2 picks and no touchdowns in his final year. On the ground, we had Karan Boyd get over 800 yards on a 4.2 average, 9 touchdowns, fumbled once. Terrence Middleton, the senior tailback, had a 5.0 average and no rushing touchdowns. He also fumbled once. Nelson had 3 fumbles, no rushing touchdowns. Breda fumbled 5 times and scored 4 times on the ground for a 23 touchdown total on the season. Receiving wise, how about CJ Nelson? I think he's our first plus 1,000 receiver through our first 3 years on a about 78-yard average per game. 5 touchdowns. Javon Moore, 829. 6 touchdowns. LaShawn Gray, Tanner Millam, both had 3. Both guys still heavily involved. Millam obviously is a senior, but Gray, Moore, Nelson all will return in our next year. And I do foresee Trey Bell to have a much larger role entering his redshirt sophomore season. Middleton scored once this year. It was a receiving touchdown, and Bentley, who had a key reception in this game, had 1 touchdown all year long. The longest touchdown belonged to Javon Moore, 77 yards. We had hardly any injuries all year long. There were a couple of mid-game ones, but nothing that was a major concern. Senior left tackle Tariq Williams allows the most sacks at 15 in 13 games played. Behind him is Jermaine Houston on 12 and 13 games, but outside of those two guys, and by the way, Houston was playing right tackle for the second half of the season, nobody else was really that bad besides Kramer, who got benched obviously after the first half of the year. But I mean, Isaiah Crowder, only 2 sacks allowed in 13 games played, on the most snaps or downs played on the year for the entire offensive line. Grant Huff was great all year long, so we have a really promising offensive line here. And some of these sacks also belong to Breda, just holding onto the ball way too long. Defensively, JT Odom was our tackle leader at 110. The most tackles for loss belonged to Cade Bloom and then Jordan Underwood. The most sacks belonged to Underwood as well, 10.5 on the year. I think he's going to have a pretty awesome redshirt senior season. We had 6 or more from Dean and Draymond Gates, and 3 from Bloom and 3 from Court Shaw. Shaw had 78 tackles this year, 9 tackles for loss. The most INTs was a 4-way tie between Court Shaw, Dakota Mills, Juan Bolden, and Marvin Holland. Then you had 1 for Coleman, Pounds, and Malik Moon. We had a lot of fumbles forced. 4 of them forced by Underwood, 3 of them forced by DJ Dean. So this defensive line really came through this year in forcing turnovers and getting pressure on quarterbacks. We also had some forced by Bolden, Coleman, Malik Moon, and Odom. And we had recoveries, 3 from Draymond Gates, 2 from Cade Bloom, and 1 from Underwood, DeMarvin Holland, and J.R. Lehan. Our kicker, George Lincoln III, went 21 for 25 on field goal attempts at 84% percentage, and he was perfect on PATs. In the conference, we had the most offensive yards by 8 over Louisiana, so that's a pretty impressive mark to meet in our 3rd year after the offense was pretty bad for the first 2 years and for the first couple of games outside of that TCU game to start this year as well. So very big improvement compared to our first 2 couple of seasons. We led the Sun Belt in passing yards. Breda really came through. He can move us down the field every game. It's just about finishing drives was the biggest problem with the offense all year long, besides those early turnovers. Rushing yards, we had the 8th most, 7th most in the conference. So, I mean, still over 1,000 yards, which is good for, I think, just in the top half or between the 2 halves in the conference. Points per game, we were 2nd only behind Louisiana. So, I think, you know, going into next year, it's going to be kind of a 2-horse race in the Sun Belt West, at least, if both teams return plenty of players, which we are. Most of our guys are going to come back next year, hopefully. So that is pretty darn important. Passing touchdowns, we were towards the bottom again. Finishing drives has been the biggest problem for us outside of early turnovers. Rushing touchdowns, though, we were 2nd only behind Louisiana. So that was a big plus, and it took away some passing touchdowns. And we had the most first downs by a long shot, by nearly 100. That is very impressive. Now for defense. We had the worst defense yardage-wise in the entire conference. That's kind of surprising to me, but after watching that game against Louisiana last time, that's not that shocking, all things considered. And we had apparently the worst secondary, which I thought we had a pretty big improvement there, but we still allowed big plays every now and then, and I think those plays really do add up. On the ground, we were still bottom 4 in the conference, but that's better than our pass defense for sure. And we had a bottom 4 defense in terms of points allowed. But we did create pressure. We had the 3rd most sacks in the conference. We forced the 4th most fumbles, and we had the 5th most INTs. And how about Jordan Underwood once again winning Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Week? I doubt there are many Sunbelt teams in a bowl game, but there were at least, I think, 4. So pretty good job on the year for him. He's had a couple of those this season. That will get us to Bowl Week 2 of 4. We'll save him until we get towards the end of the bowl weeks. And here's how the college football playoff here in 2026 ended up shaking out. Boise State lost against Oklahoma. They would go on to lose against K-State, who would make the semifinal and lose to Georgia. So it's Georgia against Nebraska in the national championship game. Oregon beat Ohio State back in the first round. They would lose to Georgia in the Orange Bowl. NC State lost in round 1 to Nebraska, who would go on to beat Clemson in the Peach Bowl and then defeat Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Meanwhile, Texas took down Florida State round 1, beat Michigan round 2, and then of course lost to the Cornhuskers. And now it's a 1 versus 6 seed matchup. Georgia against Nebraska. We got one more commit to announce. We have brought in our 2nd quarterback in this upcoming class, Tyquan Keene, a scrambler out of Arlington, Texas, a 3-star player. We also get Marquez Sermons, a right end out of Locust Grove, Georgia. So a couple of additions to our recruiting class this year that should bump us up, I think, into the top 30. And Nebraska is victorious. They are your national champions. Heading into year 4, they take down Georgia 48-34, and Coach John Carroll is victorious. We're not done adding to our recruiting class, guys. We got strong safety Vince Pike, also from Arlington, Texas, a 3-star prospect. That might be it for high school recruits, and we have gone up half a star. We began as a 1-star school, now we are one step closer to a 2-star school, which means recruiting should be a little bit easier for us moving into our 4th season. And to get hopefully some big transfer portal acquisitions too. We're going to wrap things up by using our 40 coaching skill points. Now, I would like to use it on Talented Developer, but I have to wait until we have a couple players drafted, which probably won't be until the end of next year. Tactician, we've already used a lot of points here. We have almost everything maxed out. I don't feel like cross-training players right now because I don't really usually change guys from one side of the ball to another, so we'll hold off on that. We can't unlock Architect yet, so might as well use Motivator. And this will get some hot players to stay hot through timeouts and stuff and get bonus XP when guys are drafted. But I don't see guys getting drafted anytime soon, again until next year. But we could get an off-season training boost for a couple of positions. I think because our defense was the weakest part of our team and the pass coverage was pretty bad. Based on stats alone, I think getting defensive backs that training boost is going to be important. So before we get into that, let's go ahead and just spend 15 points to get that. Maybe offensive line could also be key for that as well. So we will use 15 points there. And now we have 10 left to spend. We have Recruiter completely maxed out until we can get to the next stage, Elite Recruiter. We got to assign 2 top 5 recruiting classes to get there, which won't be for a couple of seasons. So let's go back to Motivator and just use points on a different position. Let's do quarterback and just try and get this to a level where our quarterbacks that are having good games can kind of stay hot through quarter changes and across games too, because that could also help the offense out. So no coaching points left to spend. And now we are at the players leaving stage here in 2026. We don't have many players looking to transfer out of Houma, so we'll just look to keep around those 2 guys that are thinking about doing that with those 2 persuasions. But we're going to end the episode right here, folks. What a year it was for Houma. 8-5. I believe we were 5-3 in conference play, which is a huge step up from the first couple of years. And now we go into year 4 with a lot to look forward to, a lot to build on, because most of our team is coming back. A couple of key starters are going to leave, obviously. But for the most part, I think we have 17 of 22 starters coming back for year 4. And a lot of those guys will be seniors going into this next year. So next year is going to be a big year for us. And I'm looking for potentially a double-digit win season. I will see you guys there. What did you think of year 3? What do you think our top needs are going into this next offseason? And what do you think this team can accomplish in year number 4? Thank you all for watching. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, and leave your feedback down below on what you want to see in the next couple of episodes. I'll see y'all next time. Take care and have a great day.